don't do PowerPoints much. I know it's probably easier if I just throw a PowerPoint up there, but how we learn is really different than a PowerPoint. I really want you to remember this stuff. So I'm going to be more engaged, more interactive. I'm going to be using my marker board, or going to be doing some different types of experiences in hopes that you will remember. What do you think this does? This is what we're going to be talking about all day today. Okay, so what if I give you a hint? What if I tell you this word means the mental action?
It's cognitive.
Cognitive.
There you go. And what if I give you this hint? Okay, so it's cognitive capital, and I could even give you some money there to help out a little bit. You've heard that expression before, cognitive capital? What it means is if we need multiple ways to learn things, and the more ways and pathways we have to learn things, the better off we're going to be. So if one pathway isn't working really well, or one teaching modality isn't working really well, we go in a different direction. So what I'm going to be talking about today is doing things a little differently so that your brain has to work. Because what happens is our brains are inherently really lazy. Like, it'll take the path of least resistance and do the least possible. And so what we want to do is just change things up for students just enough that they're not frustrated, but that they feel challenged, and that brain has to make some new neural wiring. And what we're learning in this Keep Sharp book is it's never too late, and we can constantly improve our brains and our memory. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, is how do we do that, and what types of things can we do? So I'm doing an experiment with myself, and I'm doing it in front of all of you, and I'm going to take a risk, okay, because I could fail. It could be a big fail with all of you. But your very first page of your workbook has a whole list of things that says how we learn, right? I'm going to see if I can remember. I typed it up for you really fast. I made my images. Shalia, my daughter, who's 24, adult with special needs, helped cut them out. She's just really good fine motor, so she cut them out for me. And I'm going to see if I can remember everything on that page. And I have not studied it. 50% of what you learn today, you will forget as soon as you click out, unless I teach you differently. Okay? That's the first one. Second one is the brain loves the power of maybe. Meaning it likes predicting. So I have blanks here for you in your booklet. And somebody says, what's the top three things you can do to keep your mind young now? Your brain will go, what's the top three? Like they'll keep cutting. Somebody tell me the top three. You better tell me the top three. So the brain likes that kind of thing. So that whole kind of power is called power of maybe. So power of maybe is going to enter in. The next one is that you write it down, you're going to remember it more. Not type it, not just stare at it on the screen on a PowerPoint, but actually write it. And if you really want to remember it, you'll doodle. So you'll, around your letters, make little doodles. You'll do a doodle for whatever, like with vestibular, you'll do little circles and make a little vestibular system. You don't have to be an artist. But if you doodle along with what you're learning, you'll remember it faster too. You'll remember it better and longer. Next one. Easy to read. So if your print's easy to read for your students, they're more likely to remember it. And the easier it is to read, the more they believe it also. So advertisers know that. They do things very clear, very clean most of the time. And advertisers also know, like on a radio show, if you say it 3 times, you're more likely to believe it. So that's why, like politics today, if you keep saying things over and over and over again, people start to believe it. And the brain just goes, I don't want to think, that sounds good. And that's what happens after a while. And then the next thing is this little sprinkle. It's an ice cream cone with sprinkles. If you can't see it, kind of, yeah. If I tell a story, you're going to remember it better too. So I'm going to sprinkle in as much time allows a few of my personal stories, professional stories. And then the last thing is, if we add movement, we've got another pathway for learning. So if we do things and we add movement to it. How did I do? Did I remember them all? Give me a thumbs up if I did. All right. Cool. I just showed you the power of images. I didn't have to study and study and study. I would have had to, but as soon as I saw my image, I knew what it was about. So pretty cool. So every time you're working with students, you add those visuals as much as possible.